Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. I'm Matt. On the line with me is Christy, Lemire, Alonso, Duralde. The movie we are talking about right now is Antebellum. Christy, what
Caller, are you there?
Yes, tell us all about it.
Walla Walla, Washington.
Hello.
Antebellum. I am going to try my damnedest to describe this in a way that does not give away the many twists and exciting shifts that are in store for you in watching Antebellum.
That the trailer has already spoiled?
The trailer completely spoils it. The way the trailer is structured absolutely gives away what's really happening here. It's too bad. But for those of you who have not seen the trailer, I will try very hard to maintain some element of surprise. This is basically is trying so hard to have the wild ambition and the narrative complexity of an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but is actually more in line with Serenity. In terms, not the good Serenity, but like the Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway Serenity.
I didn't see that one.
In terms of like you walk away
Matt.
going, like,
you gotta see Serenity.
You gotta see Serenity because it's just batshit. But in terms of like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like I walked away kind of stunned and like not in a good way. But I will try to maintain some element of that for you, so you may have the full experience here. Those of you watching and listening at home or wherever you are. Janelle Monáe, at the beginning of this film, is a slave in the Civil War on a plantation, and her name is Eden. And I gotta give him credit. There is style for days on display here. The writer-director team of Gerard and Christopher Renz, this is their first feature, and they go for it stylistically and narratively. I will give them credit for that. They are not holding anything back here. This is an incredible long tracking shot that sets the scene for this place, and it goes along this beautiful manicured lawn and past a plantation and kids playing, and then you go past some slaves who are doing laundry, and you go further and you go past Confederate soldiers, and you go further and you see the slaves' quarters, and you see that Janelle Monáe is being punished because she has tried to orchestrate an escape. But before that, and they really, really wallow in some cliched and exploitative and like just icky slavery movie tropes early and often here. There's a woman running for her life in slow motion, and the shade of green on her dress is the exact same color as the tall blades of grass that she's running through, and the magic hour light is hitting her just right to illuminate all the tears and the snot that are glistening on her face. And then in slow motion, the soldiers on horseback who are chasing her, they drop a rope around her neck, and it falls just so, and she gets yanked to the ground, and like they want us to wallow in every lurid detail of this. But Janelle Monáe is a slave, and until she isn't, until the 40-minute mark. Yes, Matt, you're stopping me.
Right, because it is hard to talk about what happens in this movie, and I think we do need to warn people, like, look, if you don't want to be spoiled, like, there's some stuff we're going to have to discuss that I think we can't get around.
But we don't have to explain why it is the way it is.
Right, over and above the fact that, yes, there's a big twist that comes, at least at the 40-minute mark. Or if not a twist, then something that's like a switch.
A reveal.
But a reveal.
Yeah. The way I described it in my review for Ebert is that they yank the rug out underneath you partially at the 40-minute mark, and then they keep yanking it over and over again for the whole third act.
But in the first act of this film, one of the things I think that it does, they do take it too far, but presenting a slave story with the rhythms and kind of some of the tropes of a horror movie, I think is very, very effective here. Because I think that, we've seen a lot of dramas about slavery, but I think it's somewhat rarer that we're treated to seeing enslaved peoples as, the ones running from the horror in a horror movie. Alonso, you look like you're going to tell me I'm wrong.
Just have we already forgotten Mandingo? Like, that's what I kept thinking about for the whole, first half hour of this movie, where it's like slavery is terrible and we can all agree on that, but let's look. And it's just like, and not even in that 12 years a slave way. Like, this is just like, it is exploitative and it's gross, and it's like, are you trying to convince us of a thing that we already know? And it's like, it just felt icky to me. Like they were using this real life historical tragedy as a way to just be lurid and gross and violent and whatever.
But it's like stylishly violent. Like it's stylishly awful.
Yeah, and it's not, and there's nothing new about this, Matt. Like it's a thing I think that's in the 70s we had kind of a boomlet, and maybe no one's done it lately because we developed like some sense of good taste. But now apparently it's open season again to just be like, here's this historical tragedy, and let's just revel in the ickiness so we can pretend like we're making a point about it.
I would go back and argue that, like, the three of us know that it's, and plenty of people know, but I would argue that we are where we are in this country because there's a lot of people who will not acknowledge the horror of slavery. And so maybe this movie would work on them, right?
Well, they are not so subtly tying the horrors of slavery to what is happening in modern day America, because you have Confederate soldiers who are chanting blood and soil on the way to their big lavish dinner.
While holding torches.
Right. Torches, where the commander is saying to them, this is how we maintain our heritage, our way of life. So which is what white supremacists fucking say. So it's not subtle.
I agree. I think where this movie, I think a less than 2 hour movie is the wrong format for telling this story. I think if you're going to tell this story, you either need to do it as at most a 1 hour short, a la Black Mirror, or do it as a series. Mm-hmm. Give me a whole series of this and show me this world.
I was thinking about how, like, Get Out was a movie that nobody commissioned and nobody asked for. This was a thing that Jordan Peele like created and came up with and made happen, and then it became a big hit. And this movie struck me as the kind of thing where somebody says, get me, I want one of those. Make me one of those movies. It's like, it's a movie about black trauma, but we'll make it a genre film so it'll be fun, you know, like that's what this felt like to me. And it just felt,
I think we can address the fact that there's another reality at work here, in that there's a modern day version of her named Veronica. Because again, there's a whole cast of people, and the trailers, the pictures. I mean, the description on IMDb even says, successful author Veronica Henley finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-bending mystery before it's too late. So what happens is at the 40-minute mark, she wakes up and she's this incredibly successful and wealthy and acclaimed author and speaker. She's got a gorgeous husband. She's got an adorable little girl. She's got this sleek, stylish apartment or townhouse.
Sleek, stylish friends. The costumes in that scene, in that section, are amazing.
Oh,
Mary Zoffrey's people, Coen Brothers longtime costume designer Mary Zoffrey's did all the clothes. The clothes are amazing.
The outfits that Janelle Monáe wears are
they're amazing. And the thing is, Janelle Monáe is radiant and engaging as hell and charismatic as hell, no matter what reality she's in, no matter how lurid the material is. She's always watchable.
She commits the fuck out of this movie, and the movie frankly doesn't deserve her, because she is she's elevating the material by being so committed to what's going on here. But what I think the other thing that really kind of bugged me, and I'll get into the thing I did like in a minute. The other thing that bugged me is that when she is the successful author, she's a PhD, she's writing very specifically about black issues in America and that kind of thing. They don't write her or the stuff that she says to be smart enough. And I think that's because I think there's a fear on the part of the screenwriters that regular audiences wouldn't get it if she were allowed to be sort of too ivory tower or whatever. And maybe that's a legitimate gripe. But when what they write for her in the, like, there's a clip of her arguing with some guy on a cable news show. She gives a speech at like an academic conference. I wanted them to like hire Roxane Gay to come in for the day and write this part of the movie, because they aren't writing this character to be as smart as this character clearly is and would be. And her insights on these topics aren't as dynamic or provocative. It's
the smartest thing these writers can come up with.
Kind of, also, that's what I worried about.
In both worlds, both depict a superficial version of her. right? I mean, it's not like one is meatier than the other, not meteor, like more meat. It's not, they're both really dealing in tropes and stereotypes, and in the modern day version of her as Veronica, yeah, you're right, she's saying really cliched kind of empty platitudes, and maybe the filmmakers are trying to say something about the way African American women are depicted in film at these two extremes, but they're not giving any insight, they're not providing any insight as to what is wrong with those, like also like the Gabourey Sidibe character who comes in as like the sassy wisecracking best friend. She's a cliche, right? So
Yeah,
what are we?
She's one of the best things in the movie.
She is the best thing in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Life to it, thank God. But
Right,
what are
we
you
do
trying to say with that character too? Nothing. They provide no insight.
Give me a new version of Frasier with Gabourey Sidibe's character hosting it. Like, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yes.
That'd be. She is so funny in this. Like, please give us more Sidibe being funny and being sassy, or if not sassy, like being just
insightful,
awesome.
like and direct
insightful.
and
right. Sassy's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Right. Like the takedown that she does in this date is so good, and that's what's frustrating because it's like, man, somebody who is associated with this can actually write something perceptive.
Yeah, like
and they
that
just drop the ball all over everywhere else.
It's like, I wish that anybody else's dialogue had been that good as that one speech she gives the person of like why they're doing it all wrong. The thing I will give this movie credit for is that, as lurid and gross and over the top as the first third is, it does at least lay the groundwork for a very satisfying third act. It hasn't earned that third act. It is, I'm embarrassed for myself for having enjoyed that third act so much, but I have to say, when we get the sort of culmination that we want as an audience of the way the story is gone, it does deliver.
I found it silly. I found it's meant to be profound, and I was laughing.
Oh, no. I wasn't profound at all. I just meant it was on an animal, on a lizard brain level, just satisfying. Like, yeah!
But it's trying to be profound is the thing.
Oh, the profundity none of that works.
No, I think the third act is really solid. Like, when it goes back to being a horror movie, and it is very satisfying.
When it goes into final girl mode.
Right. But it does it really well right up until that goddamn slow-mo. And I'm not going to say anything else.
It's very silly.
Agreed.
Anyway, I'm saying 2.7.
Wow.
And you know what? I feel bad because like they set up a whole screening for me at Lionsgate promising no other human beings will be there, and they weren't. And so I could see the way it was intended. And it looks fantastic. It's stylish as hell. But it's not good.
Last time you get your own screening.
Never, ever again.
Apparently.
I give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I gave it a 5.5 just because I did enjoy myself so much for the last third of the film, even though I knew it was like ridiculous and it hadn't done anything to build that. And I enjoyed Gabourey Sidibe. I did like, believe me, the series of outfits that Janelle Monáe wears in the middle of this movie kind of like got me through the rest of it because they were pretty amazing. But yeah, overall, this movie is
one yellow and green, like that one. The
all the
thing.
patterny stuff.
Oh.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah, I found it to be for the most part kind of reprehensible garbage. I really want to hear what Black female film critics have to say about this. I hope Joelle Monique is writing about this. I hope Candace Frederick is writing about this. I really want to see their insight because this is trying to be a thing, and it is, I think, unfortunately becoming something else entirely. But.
Our number, Soraya McDaniel did a whole piece comparing this with Lovecraft Country.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they are beautiful empty suits.
Oh, and this is only playing in theaters. Is that correct?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Do not.
Anyway, our number's a 4.2.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on the socials at BeFastAllDay, and check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay, where we are talking about Lovecraft Country and The Vow and lots of other fun stuff that's exclusive to our subscribers. So check that out. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.